Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining me here from the First Alert Digital News Desk. On this Friday, we want to talk about the top stories from the First Alert Safety Desk that I was covering all week long. Lots of good stories, especially this one that we had today, this morning, talking about the end to the moratorium for Wisconsin Public Service, that disconnection that could happen if you are behind on your bills. But the good news is there are some options for you. Also, the Consumer Report watchdog that wants Lunchables removed from school menus, and we'll talk about what the DNR wants you to know and how to be bear aware, especially as those black bears are coming out of their dens. They're hungry and they're looking for new territory. So we'll get into some of those stories this morning. We'll start with the moratorium in Wisconsin this morning, and a lot of this is all actually on WBAY.com, so I'm just going to run through them and show you the website just so you could see. And actually, Tammy Elliott has a Consumer First Alert on this today. She's going to do a whole story because there's also scams connected to this that you should know about. But right here, if you're behind, this is what you need to know in order to get some help, because they really want you to call. You can call the number 800-450-7260. Again, if you missed this, just go to our website. It's all right here. Or 800-506-5596 for resources. They said that they have a program for people who need it the most. It's a low-income forgiveness tool, WPS that is. There's also a large amount of federal assistance available. Wisconsin has about $150 million in low-income heating assistance that can probably help you. And also for energy assistance, there is another website, energyandhousing.wisconsin.gov, to get into some of those programs and options. But again, the best place to start is probably just to call WPS to figure out what is best for you. Also wanting to talk about that other story with regards to Consumer Reports. They are a nonprofit. They are a consumer watchdog. They want the popular snack kit Lunchables removed from schools. So sometimes they change the options for public schools. And in this case, it was about a year ago when things changed and Lunchables were an option for public schools. So your child's school might not have it, but some do. So basically what they're talking about here with this Consumer Report, they've petitioned the U.S. Department of Agriculture to keep the products out of school cafeterias because they think that it has too much sodium and other chemicals that they believe are bad for kids. Really interesting story. Kraft Heinz did respond that they said that they've taken steps to improve the nutritional profile of Lunchables by including fruit and reducing the sodium in the crackers. So if you want to read up on that, please do. It's pretty interesting because it did also include 12 different versions of these store-bought Lunchables. They talk about how they tested 12 different versions and then looked into the chemicals that they have, and a lot of them came up with high levels of lead, not to mention other chemicals like phthalates, which we've talked a lot about at the First Alert Safety Desk. Those have been found in plastic, linked to reproductive problems, diabetes, and certain cancers. So take a look at this story. It's on WBAY.com, and you can click on that petition from Consumer Reports to the U.S. Department of Agriculture. A really good story that we had this week. That was a big talker. Obviously, Lunchables are really popular. Another big talker was the DNR wanting you to be bear aware. This was a really good story too, especially as we're getting into spring now. It's April, that time of year for bears to start coming out of their dens, again, looking for new territory. So we break down right here what you need to know about bears. Right now, they're looking for food again. So make sure that if you see them, because we have seen them actually in the Howard area, Hobart area, even in the last couple of weeks. So for now, the DNR recommends that you completely remove bird feeders and clear the area around them. Bears, they're on the hunt for that high density food, which is found in bird food. You'll also want to reduce the smells from your trash and recycling containers, so it's a good idea, especially if you live more north of Green Bay, to rinse the food cans and bottles before you throw them out, and limit the amount of time your pets and the pet food is left outside unattended. Be cautious in public spaces too, like grills and picnic tables. If a bear is near your home or cabin, just try to find a safe location and you can scare it away. The DNR says, I know it goes against our instinct, but you can make loud noises like clanging pots and pans together or throwing objects in its direction. Another good tip is to not corner a bear. Do not turn your back on that bear and run away. Not a good idea at all. But if you do encounter one in the woods, back away slowly. Look for a safe location where you can kind of wait it out, especially if it doesn't see you at all. Wait it out, wait for the bear to leave. The Wisconsin DNR, they have a lot more black bear management information on their website, which is pretty helpful, again, especially if you live more north of us in that part of our viewing area. But just wanting to get on here quickly this morning to talk about those big safety desk stories that I've covered all week long. And per usual, you can find them at WBAY.com. Go to the safety desk tab, and they are all there from today's stories and every single story that we've done so far from the First Alert Safety Desk. Just wanting to talk about First Alert traffic real quick because that is a safety factor today. The high winds, hold on to the steering wheel, and Steve's been talking about that. We'll be back on air here pretty soon for Action 2 News Mid-Morning coming up at 9 a.m. We'll see you then.